Ian is back with the sport.
Yeah, we start with football. Liverpool have released a statement saying sporting integrity has been undermined by the video assistant referee following their 2-1 loss away at Tottenham in the Premier League on Saturday. The Reds were denied a Luis Diaz goal in the first half after VAR failed to overturn an offside decision, something it said was down to a significant human error. Meanwhile, Liverpool's women's team shocked Arsenal with a 1-0 win away from home in front of 54,000 fans at the Emirates Stadium, which is a record for a Women's Super League match. East African athletes dominated the inaugural World Athletics Road Running Championship, winning 7 out of 8 gold medals up for grabs on day one of the event in Latvia. Reigning 1500-meter and 5000-meter champion Faith Kipyegon suffered her first loss of the season over any distance. She lost to Diribe Boeltije of Ethiopia, who broke the 1-mile world record on the road with a time of 4 minutes, 20 seconds and 98. And a big basketball trade making the rounds on social media. The Boston Celtics have traded for Drew Holiday from the Portland Trail Blazers, which is making everyone very excited on social media, Victoria.
Thank you so much, Isaac. And to think that Faith Kipyegon, first loss of the season. I mean, it's been a long season towards the end of the year. Wow. I mean, I have no words, but here we are. Isaac Senin, thank you so much for the sport, and he'll be back later on with the program.
We're going to return to the situation in Ukraine when it comes to support. It's been a year and a half since Russia invaded Ukraine, and the first nation to send fighter jets to Kyiv was neighbouring Slovakia. Well, that nation has just seen a big political shift, and one that could signal weaker public support for Ukraine. A man who promised to not send a single cartridge to Kyiv, the leader of the Smer party, Robert Fico, is set to become Prime Minister again. He took a pro-Russian stance during the campaign, despite Slovakia being a member of both NATO and the European Union. On the line is Lukas Ondaczanin, a reporter for Slovak Daily News. Thanks for joining us, Lukas. Coalition talks are now going to begin, aren't they? Is it likely that he will be able to pull together some kind of coalition government?
Yeah, it's very likely. Fico has still created a coalition, probably with his former colleague Petr Pellegrini, who left Smer in the past, and he's more moderate, Social Democratic Party, Smer, Alas. But there is also pro-Russian Slovak National Party that also expressed willingness to align with Fico. So we still don't know for 100% if they will govern, but there is a big possibility that Fico will be governing again after 10 years in power in the past.
Right, and so if he does form a coalition with a more moderate party, is it likely that this pledge to not send any ammunition at all to Ukraine would stand through those coalition talks?
I think it's very possible, because even if you ask the people in Slovakia and you see it in the polls that the support for Ukraine is decreasing in the past months, so people are a bit tired. And even Pellegrini and his party said that maybe they should change the strategy towards Ukraine. So I'm afraid that Ukraine may lose one of its closest allies. On the other hand, I think that Fico is very pragmatic, so I don't expect that he will maybe stop humanitarian help to Ukraine, and we definitely don't expect him to, attempt to withdraw Slovakia from European Union on the NATO. So it was also part of the campaign, but I think that he will stop with the military support.
Robert Fico's party, Smer, got 24% of the vote. He said that support for Ukraine is falling. Is it possible to say whether a majority of Slovaks do or don't support continued support for Ukraine?
According to polls, it looks like a majority of Slovaks don't support the military deliveries to Ukraine. And also when you see who they see as responsible for your war in Ukraine, there are nearly a third of the Slovaks that think that the West is responsible for war in Ukraine. So what disconnected, the whole campaign was focused on, criticizing Ukraine for being not very thankful for our weapons, and apparently Fico will try at least to do something in this regard.
Right, because it's frustrating saying that as a member of NATO, Slovakia would effectively NATO's partly to blame for Russia's invasion.
Yes, and support for NATO is also decreasing, which is fascinating when you see that we are part of the war. But as I said, he's pragmatic, so it can change a bit after the campaign ends. But we see that Fico that he was before towards his opponents, towards Ukraine, maybe minorities and migrants. So there are big worries that he will be not maybe as pragmatic as he was in the past.
All right, thanks so much. Lucas on the channel there, which goes to display that daily news.
Now, Tesla has released an updated version of its